Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, Adanna Combie, and we continue conversation in studio with our guest, and we are speaking with Miss Verdine Williams. She is the Education Officer there at the Consumer Affairs Division Unit at the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy. It is Christmas time, so of course Consumer Affairs Unit is going to be part of our conversation. We know we love to do a lot of shopping around Christmas time. We buy lights, we buy trees, we buy appliances, we buy furniture, we buy all sorts of stuff. So we're going to have a conversation this morning that would guide our shopping when we are doing our mass shopping for Christmas this year. And we're speaking with Miss Verdine Williams. Good morning and welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me. Yes, this is Christmas time, and this is the time when consumers or persons really spend most money once they're into the Christmas celebration. And as you rightfully said, we want to guide them a bit. So I want to speak a bit about how the process that they should follow. And we advise consumers that you should be making a budget. That's the first thing you want to do. You make a budget, right? And you're not just budgeting for the food item. If you decide to change some furniture in the home, you need to make a budget for that also. When you're budgeting for the food item, you should also budget for your drinks. Once you're having drinks, budget for the meats, budget for what you're going to be spending in the market for your vegetables and stuff like that. Once you have your budget down, this is it. This is what you're working with. You don't make it so tight that you can't, shift a little in it. Because these days when you go to the grocery, you find that the prices are they're not dropping, they're just rising, right?
Yeah, so that's right.
Once you can afford it, you try to make the budget not too tight where you become so stifled that you start to get frustrated with the whole Christmas process, that you can't get this and you can't get that once you can afford it. Now, in making the budget, it also means that you would have to look at areas where you can cut back. Instead of buying 5 pounds of meat or 5 pounds of fish, you might have to look at buying 3. And you might have to look at putting some peas with that in order to make sure you get the full amount of protein, the family get the full amount of protein. So those are the things we want to guide consumers to do. Now that you have the budget set, you know how much money you're working with. This is where the ladies who have a spouse to lean on.
Gosh, oh gosh.
You will tell them beforehand that you want this amount of money. We would like to work with this amount of money, so you know what you're working with and you put in your part, right? So we finish with the budget. We go into the list. You make lists for everything. Ladies, we have a habit of making a list, and we go into the grocery, and the list is at the bottom of your purse. Yes. And we are doing all this shopping, and we never look at the list yet. And when we get home, we're going to see that we purchased things that we didn't really want, or we could have done without, and the things that we really need to get, we didn't buy it. So we are asking to make the list. We have our phones. Those of us who are inclined that way, make your list on your phone. Usually your phone is in your hands anyhow. Make your list on your phones, and always remember to check the list and make sure that you are purchasing what you want to purchase. It might be a good idea to put, once you can do it, put the quantity from the budget that you want to spend on that particular item and try to stick to it, because we need to remember that after the Christmas season is finished, they say it finished about the 6th of January, and they said January is like about 3 to 4 months long. So we need to look at that. So you have your list, you work with your list, and you have a list for everything. Just as we ask you to do budgets for everything, we ask you to do lists for everything. So you're going to look at lists for if you're going to paint over, what paint you want to use, or how much gallons of paint you need to get. By the way, I think we're kind of late for that, So let me just look at the food item, right?
Right.
So you look at your list for your food item, you look at the list for the marketplace, you look at the list for all these areas, and you do that. Besides the list, we want to also talk about receipts. This is what you were mentioning earlier in terms of returns. In case you purchase an item that is not up to the standard that you want it to be, you need to take it back to the business place if it's not working because of a manufacturer defect. Not because of something that you may have done to it. So you need to keep your receipts, and we advise you to keep your receipts for at least 3 months. Right? Especially if it's like gift items you would have purchased, because we don't know, you may not have opened the gift item
at the same time, right?
Right, and then you give it to the recipient, and when they get it, it's not working properly because of a manufacturer defect. So you would want to take that back, and it's a good idea to write the name of the person who you would have given that gift item to the back of the receipt, so you're not going to get confused. You're not going to be confusing yourself when you have like a shoebox, or you have a special bag, or a special purse, somewhere special to store all these receipts so that you can get them when you're ready for them, because we know how we can get flustered when we're looking for something and we know we put it by A and it end up by B and it's not us who put it there.
That's right.
So we're going to make sure that we keep our receipts for at least 3 months' time so we can get back to them. Another thing we want us to look at is when we're shopping for the Christmas lights. You know, I heard yesterday where someone was saying going around to different villages and looking at lights and things. That's something my family and I do. It's a beautiful experience.
Yes, we were just talking about that in the previous conversation.
Okay, so you
about
see,
lighting,
yes, when you're purchasing the lights, we need to be careful in this area, because sometimes we have lights that are coming out around this time that are not up to standard or are not safe to be using. So when you're purchasing a light, make sure that the lights have a UL or FM label stamped on the light. That means it was verified by certain labs that it's good for use. And keep in mind, there are also indoor and outdoor lights. So the indoor lights, you would not want to put them outdoor because they would not be able to stand the elements. Now, there are lights that can be used both indoor and outdoor. So if you get those might be better. So when you're getting the lights now, you make sure that it's stamped with the relevant UL or FM label.
UL or FM?
Yes, UL or FM. That means a specified lab would have certified that these are safe for using, right? When you're stringing the lights now, you try not to string more than 3 lights, 3 cord of lights or 3 length of lights. Don't go above that, because you know putting it on a string, and the TNTech colleagues or TNTech friends would tell us that that's not safe. It can cause fire. It's a hazard.
That's right.
So you don't want to do that. If you're like me, you're not buying any new lights this year. You're going to be reusing lights.
Right.
So we want to inspect the lights. You're going to inspect for the cords that may be cracked, or bulbs that may have fall out from the string. You're going to inspect to make sure it's good to use, because you don't want to use these lights and now looking all pretty and nice and everything blocked.
That's right. But the thing about it, right, these things sound so perfect and so ideal. But for the person who is in a last minute rush, Christmas Eve night, you know, looking to pull a string of lights, people don't have time to inspect this. So we really want to pay attention, listeners. We want to pay attention to our lights. Even if you are in a rush and you're doing it on Christmas Eve night, spend 5 extra minutes.
Yes.
Checking to ensure that your lights, because we want to avoid all hazards. We want to avoid all
as much as possible.
We don't want to put strain on other like TNTech and the fire department and all these things.
And we don't want to lose our
homes.
And
we don't want to lose our homes. We don't want to lose our valuables, and we don't want to lose our lives, most importantly. So take the time. Take the time. And I just want to put a plug. One of our viewers, our viewers here this morning, as you were talking about the budget, she's saying, yes, make a budget. This is Lisa Frank Phillips. Make a budget. So she's in agreement.
Yes, Lisa, we need to make those budgets. And stick to them, please. Stick to them. So with the lights, we continue a bit with the lights. Now, there are some really fancy looking lights that bubbles. They look so pretty. We need to be careful when we have young children in our homes when we're using those lights, because just as it's attractive to us, it's also attractive, even more attractive to them. And they can look to take these lights and to place into their mouths and stuff like that. So we need to be careful with that. One of the nicest or the prettiest sights that we can see is these decorative lights in darkness.
Yes.
They look so good. You get a full view of the lights, a full experience.
Yes.
But
I know there was a but.
We are asking, we know they look the best then, but we are asking when you go to bed, take off your lights. Because they can still be a hazard. So we don't want to leave them on when we go into bed or when we are not at home. Take off your lights, please. So let us enjoy the lights while we are up. We could take off all the lights in the house and enjoy the darkness with the lights looking all pretty, but just don't be asleep. And keep in mind, we are trying to conserve. As of January, we're conserving electricity.
Yes, that's right.
So we need to do that. Take off these lights, keep these lights off when we're in bed or when we are not at home. So that's it for the lights. Now there's a pet area that is so popular right now. I want to delve into a bit. That's online shopping. We got a call. I took a call earlier this week with someone who purchased a wig. It was a wig online, one of those Instagram shops. And there's concerns about the wig now. The wig came too late. I think the original wig they got couldn't fit. And based on what the supplier would have said, it wasn't the appropriate wig. And so they were trying to get it changed. But when this new wig come now, because if suppliers said they would change it, the event for the week would have passed.
Right.
So the consumer now wants back their money because they now have to go and purchase a wig elsewhere. We need to let consumers know. You see, the online shopping, our regulations that really protect consumers when they are shopping are already very archaic. They are extremely old, extremely old. They are not providing for the comfort or for the protection that consumers need currently in these modern times, much less with online shopping. We have no regulations that would be able to guide consumers as how to take care of yourself except with common sense when you're shopping online. Because when you're shopping online, you can't go in to try on the item you are purchasing, right? So what you have to do in this case, you need to go to the website, research the websites, research the Instagram shops, talk to persons who would have probably purchased there. Or if it's unlike the international websites, you can go on to check for persons who would have purchased. Check for reviews on items. And when you're checking for reviews on these items, you know, sometimes the suppliers would pay people to write a review. So you need to look for the specific word verified purchaser to make sure it's somebody who purchased. We don't know, they could still be, you know, not being honest, but at least we're getting that comfort at saying that somebody is a verified purchaser who purchased this item. And don't just take one person's view. Now, shopping online is extremely tiresome.
And it is also risky because, as you said, you see something online, you see a photo of something, and then when it arrives in your package, it's something
totally
We've seen videos all over social media. Just this morning, in fact, I was looking at a young lady who ordered a dress online, a gold dress, and when it came, it was bright yellow. It was a different style,
so you see,
awkward fit. So it really is risky business shopping online.
Risky. And this is where consumer affairs come in. We can't protect you in terms of trying to get redress for you, especially if it's an international supplier. So you have to, when you're doing this shopping, know that you're shopping at your own risk. And you have to try your best to shop at the more established places. Don't try to go for those new ones that look all bright and attractive. The more established places would quicker give you some form of redress, where they would probably send another item for you. Because I've had experiences where I would have purchased online and the item didn't come, and I would just reach out to the company and let them know as recent as about a month ago, and they would have told me that my package was lost and they sent it back for me. So you need to look at the more established places.
As being able to track your packages, as you
yes,
just
you must be able to track your packages, because you have to, as I said, shopping online it's a lot of work as compared to shopping online, as my sister would say. Shopping online, it's a lot of work because you need to take time to sit down and research the business place, research to see, read reviews to see purchasers, what they would have said about the items that they purchased. And you also need to shop around. You can't just decide that my friend said that they purchased this here, or this looks pretty, that I'm going to purchase it there. You need to shop around. The same way we advise consumers to shop around when they're purchasing online, shop around when they're purchasing online also.
Some people see the online as a convenience. For me, it has been a convenience for a lot of things. But as you said, there's also the balance. It is a convenience, but you also have to do your research to ensure the product you're purchasing is, you know, what you expect when the package arrives. Right? So yes, I totally agree.
It's a lot of work. And because it's such a convenience, you may find persons who would be shopping at Wi-Fi hotspots. We advise that consumers don't do that. You go to a Wi-Fi hotspot and you're shopping. Don't do that unless you have a VPN. That's a virtual private network. That's your private network that no one have access to, so they can't see your IP address. They can't steal your information. So avoid shopping on Wi-Fi hotspots. And if your network is not secure, you need to make sure your network is secured, or your devices that you're using are secured, so that persons can't get to them. You know, you're seeing so much of, I think it's phishing or malware taking place right now. For instance, when it was Black Friday, I was constantly getting this bombardment that my Prime membership was up and I need to renew it, but I know it wasn't. So then I wouldn't have clicked on that. So just try your best to report it, to let them know that somebody's trying to get your information. So we had to be so vigilant when you're shopping online. And sometimes these persons would actually call you and they ask you for your personal information. Well, I think this is all news by now.
I think so.
You don't give that out at all.
So.
This is all news. So don't do that. Now, some of the other things you need to look for when you're shopping online, you look for safety mechanism or safety signs as a closed padlock for the website. a closed padlock indicate that it is safe. You look for the HTTPS with the two little dots, I think is a semicolon, you call that. You look for that. That's another safety mechanism to show that the website is safe. So you need to look at all those things. That's it with the online shopping. Shopping early. Christmas time for a lot of persons is about shopping. But we want to shop early also.
So that you don't get flustered and just grab anything. Yes.
Now, I love the atmosphere. It's just seeing persons so happy and rushed, and it's a heady feeling for me.
Yes.
It's really nice. But then what I would advise persons to do, although I love that atmosphere, I don't shop then. I would have shopped earlier. Once I'm shopping, I would have shopped earlier. And then I just go to absorb the atmosphere. So
You see what happens when you have the expertise and all the information? You make clever decisions. You shop already, you know.
Yes, you shop
but because
already.
you love the atmosphere, you're just going out to see people shop and just to feel the festivities.
It's a great feeling. It's wonderful.
That's good
But
advice.
you shop early. You shop earlier. And when you're shopping earlier, you shop earlier in terms of the days. No, you also shop earlier in terms of the time of the day. So you try to do your shopping when the crowd isn't there. Like early in the morning. I can't even say early in the afternoon again, because persons are trying to fit in the shopping is best when it's best suited for them. So try to shop us at a time when your specific shopping places, be it the grocery or the furniture places, wouldn't have that crowd. Another thing that is enjoyable about shopping earlier is that the staff is not as rushed, and they are not as pressed, and they are not as frustrated. So they give you more attention, and they are more relaxed, so they can help you more, and they can smile more with you. And when they smile more with you, you smile more with them, and you get better services.
And you spend more.
That's part of it. That's part of it. You know, just sharing this with you. Have you ever noticed there are some business places when you're shopping, they would have beautiful music, relaxing music. This is just a tidbit for the consumers. The slower the music, the slower you take your time and browse, and the more you tend to spend. A simple thing as what they have on the floor. Some business places may have like a softer floor finish. The softer the floor finish, the slower you browse, the more money you
It's a
spend.
psychology behind everything.
It is. So when the music, you find the music might be a bit upbeat. It sounds good upbeat, but then that could get, oh no, this again, business persons a bit of a hint too. That could get the persons out of the business places too fast.
Right.
So I realize that we are running out of time. Let me just make a quick more notes of some things that I want in this area that consumers are having a lot of concerns about. You see, warranty and guarantee when you purchase your furniture and appliances. You need to ask the business person, ask the person who is attending to you about warranty or guarantee on the item. Now, I know I would have said to consumers previously, try to avoid buying the extended warranty because sometimes the item you're purchasing, if it's going to go bad, it's going to go bad within the manufacturer's warranty period. But what we are seeing now, a lot of items that persons are purchasing just as the warranty period end, the manufacturer warranty period end, they go bad.
I've had that experience.
Right. So persons may have to look at now taking that extended warranty for their own peace of mind and comfort, knowing that when the manufacturer warranty has stopped, they would have purchased an extended warranty. That could help them now because they would have purchased the item on higher purchase. If you purchase your item cash, I would not advise you to buy the extended warranty, but that choice is still yours to use, right? Now, you need to also ask about the full extent of the warranty. Is it a full warranty? Is it partial? Is it limited? Keep in mind that persons use the word warranty or guarantee interchangeable.
That's right.
Right? So they can work either way. Now, an express warranty means that if you bought a phone to make calls, it can make call. That's expressed. That's understood. Right? But other warranties, try to get it in writing so that you know what your item is protected against, what you're covered for. I hope that helped your consumers today.
Yes, I mean, the conversation was engaging and interesting. I learned some things. And I mean, the warranty aspect of it especially is very, very important for us to know. And of course, keeping your receipts. And you gave us a very good idea when you're buying gifts to write the name of the person you're giving the gift to behind the receipt should it go bad, and to keep it for up to 3 months. So that was very, very good information. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Miss Verdine Williams of the Consumer Affairs Unit there at the Division of Finance, bringing some information and some tips and guidelines as we prepare for our shopping for Christmas 2023 and even beyond. These are tips that you can carry into your day-to-day shopping, your online shopping, your on-land shopping, as she made reference to. Be very alert when you're shopping online. Ensure that you're using a secure Wi-Fi network or system, and just be safe, be vigilant. Use the wise hours to shop early morning rather than late evening and stuff like that. So we want to thank you very much for coming in this morning and shedding some light and reminding us of how vigilant we need to be with our pennies, of course, making a budget and sticking to it, which is one of the most difficult things.
Yes, it is.
Especially for women when we see all these nice things around Christmas time. But you know, it's very important that we maintain our budget, because we don't want to go wild and in January morning we all suffer. You know, so thank you so much for bringing that insight to us. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you take this advice on board as you go out there shopping. Be safe, be vigilant, and purchase only the things you have budgeted for and that you have on your list. Thank you so much. Of course, viewers, we're going to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio with our guest. And of course, before we go, we're going to invite you, and I want you to join me to ask our viewers to share the live, share the live, share the live.